Hey, this is Natan Levy, and you're watching The Marcus Deegan Show.
The Marcus Deegan Show! What's the story, guys? Welcome to another episode of the podcast. I'm your host, Marcus Deegan, shooting once again from fabulous Sin City, Las Vegas, Nevada. Welcome to another episode of the pod. Going to be a little bit different today. Going to set the mood a little bit differently. Today's about conversation. Today's about education. Today's about learning things that maybe you don't understand and I definitely don't understand. I got a couple of guests on the pod today that are maybe going to say exactly the way it is and open some people's eyes out there, because I believe this is a conversation that needs to be talked about. I got some fighters on the pod and I got some friends on the pod. So let me firstly start off by introducing UFC badass, Natan Levy. Thank you, brother, for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
It's been a couple of years.
Yeah.
You're still looking fit and handsome as ever.
Yeah, you too.
Did you drink that bottle of whiskey I gave you?
I shared it with some friends.
Okay,
yeah.
you said it with some friends.
Not all by myself.
Now, who's this handsome guy right next to you? I seen him throwing some punches and I thought, there's no way I ever want to stand in front of this guy and exchange. Who is this guy right here?
This is David Alaverdian,
David.
pro-Israeli boxer.
Wow.
Amazing guy, amazing human, amazing friend.
Thank you.
And I learned a lot from him. And yeah, we're going to learn some more today.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming on, brother. I appreciate it. No training today?
No, not today.
You beat anyone up last week?
After this. I'm going to train with Natan later.
Are you going to beat him up? Does he? Who wins? Like, seriously, who wins? You or him?
He's an MMA fighter. Like, I'm not going to be one of these boxers. Like, I'm going to beat him. Just don't be kidding, you know?
Yeah.
Takes me to the ground and I'm like a fish, you know?
Yeah, you don't do. Is MMA in your future or are you strictly boxing?
Strictly boxing, but he coaches me to throw kicks. I like it.
Really?
He helps my boxing, and I help him throw some kicks.
So it's a back and
Maybe
forth.
one day he's in a bad spot in a fight and he head kicks the guy. Might as well, you know,
Exactly.
even if he gets DQ'd.
Did you watch the fight on the weekend?
Yeah, I thought Ngannou won.
Yeah.
I thought Ngannou won.
So do you think that Tyson Fury just didn't train for it, or do you think he just didn't take him as seriously as what he thought, or thought he was just going to beat him? Because no one thought he was going to win that fight.
I think there's two kind of things that played against Tyson Fury. One, obviously, I don't think he believed that Ngannou could do anything to him. And two, he's not used to somebody who's awkward as Ngannou, so...
Yeah, coming from the MMA world to the boxing world where footwork is completely different.
Yep.
I thought that Ngannou did a great job at altering his footwork, and obviously Tyson's punches weren't affecting him at all, and that check left hook was his power punch, and it was good to see the MMA community come together and beat a boxer.
Pretty cool.
There's a real handsome guy in here. I don't know where he came from. I don't know if he's a performer on stage. I don't know if he flies planes. I don't know if he's just here to have a couple of drinks with me today. But he's my good friend Marvin Lashever. Marvin, how are you, my brother?
Hi, Marcus.
What are you doing here today? And tell me a little bit about you.
I have to tell you, Marcus, I thank you so much for having me on your show today. I'm sitting with a couple of heroes from Israel. I am so proud of these two guys. I don't even know them, but I can tell you, I am proud of these guys.
What brings that pride?
Well, I'm a Holocaust, one of the original last generation of the Holocaust survivors.
Wow.
I was born in Krakow, Poland in 1944 during the war, and we were captured by the Nazis.
When you say we?
My mother, my father, and myself. And I was an infant. I was maybe 8 or 9 months old. And we were sent to Auschwitz. And as the train was pulling into Auschwitz, they were full. It was toward the end of the war. And they put us back. Auschwitz was a work camp. It wasn't a death camp. Auschwitz was, they had a big sign over there, the entrance of Auschwitz that said, Arbeit macht frei, which translates into work makes you free. They were full. So they put us back on the cattle car and they sent us to Treblinka. Treblinka, which was northeast of Auschwitz, was a death camp. That's why they put us into the ovens. Now, we were very, very fortunate because at that time the Russians were making their way through Poland to the east, and they were bombing everything. And the Russians happened to have bombed the train tracks which we were on, and the train derailed, and my father grabbed me and my mother, and we ran into the woods, and we escaped, luckily.
Wow.
So, we, we were one of the very fortunate of the 6 million Jews that died during that war. And to see what's going on today, it's history repeating itself. This country has become pre-war Germany. I can't understand it. What the hell do they have against Jews? What is it that we have done over the 6,000 years that we have been around that makes them so arrogant and so disliking of Jews? I grew up in New York. I grew up in Chicago. I grew up in the Bronx. I grew up in Brooklyn. And during my upbringing years, I have been called everything from a dirty bastard Jew to a motherfucker Jew to all kinds of bad. What did I ever do to anybody? Luckily, I also grew up with Italians. So I never took shit from anybody. Okay? What makes you so afraid of Jews? I heard some stuff today from our FBI head of the FBI today. Did you know that there are only 15 to 16 million Jews in the entire world?
No, I didn't know that. Wow.
In the entire world. Do you know that we make up 2.5% of the American population? We also make up 60% of all the violations and attacks. 60% of all religious-related attacks are on Jews. Why?
Why, Natan? Why?
That's a good question. I know I can tell you a lot of people think that their misfortune, they're throwing it on Jews. Why is my life shit? Oh, because of the Jews. Why am I a loser? It's got to be the Jews. Why did this virus start? It's hard to tell. But like he was saying, we are 0.19 of the world population. So there is, there's videos of people asking people in the streets, how many Jews are in the world? Maybe 1 billion, 500 million.
Right.
No, we're only 15 to 16 million. And those numbers are still under pre-Holocaust. We're just now getting almost to the amount of Jews we have in the world as before the Holocaust.
Obviously, being from Israel, this has affected you differently. Has this affected everything in your life right now, including your training and just your general sense of peace?
Absolutely. So it's, I can't, of course, it's hard to train right now. Some people have it far worse. I can't complain because I have a hard time training, Some people lost everything. Some people lost their family. Horrors, seeing their mothers raped, their babies murdered before they were murdered themselves, or there's some survived. And just truly a second Holocaust. And, the difference we were talking right before the podcast began, we said, what's the difference between the Holocaust and this, right? Of course, the proportions, how many were murdered. If there was nobody there to stop the terrorists, it would have been the same number or higher. They would have kept murdering us until the last one. So they meant the same thing as the Nazis, exactly the same thing. The big difference is one happened outside of our house. So if you go and walk in the street and you get mugged, you get attacked, and far worse, you're scared of leaving your house, but you still feel safe at home. When somebody enters your home, murders your babies, rapes your women, kills your men, how can you ever feel safe again at home? There's nowhere you can feel safe.
So with all these atrocities that are going on, why is there demonstrations in London, in Australia, in New York, and all over the world, free Palestine? With all these atrocities that have happened, why are people still tearing down posters of people that have been kidnapped? Why don't people get it? David, can you fill me in on that?
It's propaganda, basically. First of all, a lot of people don't have no idea. They have no idea what's going on. And imagine there's 2 billion Muslims in the world. The outcry is huge. Nobody's gonna hear 15 million Jews that's posting some things on Instagram, but you'll definitely hear 2 billion people crying out. They're all gonna want for their own people. They don't even know what's going on. They've never been there, never set foot there. They see a few reels or few TikTok videos, and that's what they base their opinion on. So there's a lot of propaganda, and with all these liberals taking stand for what's popular at the moment, that's why they're doing all this stuff.
I saw yesterday there was some trans activists, transgender people waving the Palestinian flag and saying free Palestine. But the irony is, do they understand what would happen to them if they walked down the street in Gaza dressed like that, a man as a woman? What would happen to them over there?
They get thrown off a roof.
They get thrown off a roof. Is that right, Marvin?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. They get thrown off a roof. They get killed. They get their heads chopped off.
So why are these people defending Palestine? Why are
Because they're ignorant. They're stupid.
Right.
They don't have an education. They don't know what would really happen to them. They really don't know.
So what's the difference between a war and a terrorist invasion? A war is when obviously two countries or two sides are at conflict and there's equal casualties of war. Terrorism attack is when innocent people are being slaughtered. You just came back from there, right? How long ago? And can you tell us a little bit about your experience?
Yeah, 1 week ago. I'll just go into what you just said about war. A big thing with those liberals today, they see weakness as a virtue. And they think whoever is stronger, that means they're evil, they are good, right? And as far as the Palestinian propaganda and all of this, look, if you have, this is your cause in life. There is a land dispute in the Middle East. You probably can't point where it is on the map, but okay, we'll let you have it. You have this Palestinian cause. You feel some people have it, they're getting oppressed or whatever. Okay, go, wave your flag, all of this. But the moment there is terrorists attacking civilians, that's what makes them terrorists. If those same Palestinians would have gone into a military base, right, and fight soldiers, they're against me, I don't like them, I don't love them, but they're opposition army. I would not call them terrorists if they attack soldiers. Just, by definition, being straight up. But whenever they met soldiers, they would flee and go other places. Those who met soldiers, most of them died. The problem is the terrorists went, and most of them went into the Nova, rave, where they shot. Just mass shooting. How do we react in America when there's a mass shooting? When some psycho walks into a movie theater or, a concert in Las Vegas and shoots down hundreds of people, dozens of murdered. How do you react then? It's awful, right? We don't accept it. So why do we accept it when it's against Jews?
Where's the outrage? Where is the outrage? Why aren't these images being posted more around the world? Why aren't they being posted on mainstream TV? Why aren't the photos of these beheaded babies and burnt grandmothers being posted? Why?
Because
Do you think they should be, Marvin?
Because Jews are hated. Because Jews are hated all over the world. There is no reason whatsoever for it. We have a saying in Hebrew and in Yiddish and Jewish, Shalom Aleichem. The Arabs say it backwards. They say it Alechem Shalom. Doesn't that give you an indication of what they're all about? They're totally different. What do Jews want? They want peace. They want calm. Am I against all Palestinians? Absolutely not. I believe they should have their own homeland. They should. Okay? Israel did it. They gave them the Gaza. What the hell do they want? Get rid of Hamas, and believe me, after this war, after the Jews destroy the Hamas, there will be peace in the Middle East.
And a lot of people saying, what is Hamas? You keep hearing the word Hamas. What is this Hamas? Hamas is a Palestinian political and military organization that was started in 1987. It's considered a terrorist organization by several countries, including the United States and the European Union. Hamas aims to establish an Islamic state in historic Palestine, which includes Israel. Okay, so the group has been involved in many armed conflicts with Israel and has been responsible for numerous attacks against Israeli civilians. Hence, what's going on right now. I believe in the death toll is up near a couple of thousand right now. Your brother's in Gaza. Are you fearful for him?
I'm fearful for every soldier right there. So it's not just my brother; it's friends. But obviously, I'm most fearful for my brother.
Yep. And you can't communicate with him right now due
Nothing.
to there's no
No communication. I think I sent him a message, but it's still unread. So because they took their phones.
How many of your family members are still over there, Natan? And is everybody safe? And how are they protecting themselves? There's a 3-part question there.
Yeah, so all of my family, other than my wife and myself, are in Israel right now. Safe is very relative. Right now, they are unharmed. Are they safe? No, no one is safe right now.
Are they Are they in the area of where all of this carnage is happening? And if so, how are they protecting themselves?
So we live 20 miles from where the
close.
massacre happened. Yeah, it's basically here to Red Rock. In Vegas, it's a short drive. In Israel, it's considered a little bit further away, but it's 20 miles. And we would like to have weapons, to defend ourselves. In Israel, it requires a license and many things that thank God for the Second Amendment. Here you can carry arms and defend yourself. And I'm not I don't want to get too into it, but just like again about the Second Amendment, people sometimes act like people here are crazy because they want a gun. I once seen a show on TV about survivalists, or I'm not sure how they call them, people who have a bunker at home. They build a bunker at home. They bring a bunch of cans that have long expiration dates, and they kind of acted in the show like these are crazy people that are getting ready for the apocalypse, for a zombie apocalypse. In Israel, this is very normal. In Israel, every home needs to have a bunker because you can get bombed any day of the week, like it was Saturday 3 weeks ago. Nobody was expecting it. I just got into Israel for a vacation. I thought I was going to hang out with family, go to a cousin's wedding, train with my Israeli coaches, have fun. And a couple days in, sirens, all of a sudden me and my wife wake up, look at each other like there was nothing that was, hinting at there was going to be a war. Nothing. So we would run into the bunker. We heard the bombs explode over our heads, the rocket explode, the Iron Dome intercepting the rockets. And then this is just becomes the everyday life. Planes, fire jets above your head all day, sirens, bombs, most intercepted by the Iron Dome. Some actually land by buildings, streets, right by our house. So it's dangerous.
Can you explain to people that don't know what the Iron Dome is?
The Iron Dome is a system developed by Israel to protect Israel from rockets, mostly from Gaza, but any other enemy around. And they basically, what's really smart about this system is it calculates the trajectory of a rocket and where it's going to land. If it's going to land in sea, in the ocean, or in an open area, it doesn't shoot it down because it's a big waste of money, all the missiles. And but those that are going to hit populated area, they get intercepted in the sky and explode the rocket.
That's what I saw on the TV. It just looked like fireworks. And
Yeah.
Has this drummed up a bunch of old emotions and memories for you, Marvin? Is this like, are you like, I can't believe I'm possibly going to go through this twice in one lifetime?
Well, you know, they say history repeats itself. Well, history is repeating itself. This is pre-war Germany, pre-1939. The difference, the big difference now is that Jews are allowed to carry guns. Israel, you're allowed to carry a gun as long as you do it legally and permitted and everything else. Same thing here. I carry, okay? Never again. This will never happen again where you try to exterminate us. It's not going to happen. You know, when I was younger, growing up in Brooklyn, New York, I don't know if you guys remember Rabbi Meir Kahane. He formed the JDL, the Jewish Defense League, okay? And I became a member back then. And it was out only because we were so discriminated against and brutalized in Brooklyn, which had a large Jewish population, still does, okay? And they were killing us, they were beating us up, and he formed the JDL. And you know what? We need another one here today. We need a Jewish militia, and I'm very seriously thinking of joining again because they're still around. You know, they cannot do this to us again. I will not go through this again.
Do you think that this could happen in America? Do you think this could continually happen, what is happening in Israel right now, with what the heck's going on with the lackadaisy border control, many, terrorists coming over the border? Is this something that could happen here, do you think, David?
I thought it would never happen again. Maybe I had feelings that it might, but nobody thought it can happen again. But if you look at what's going on right now, you see a demonstration of people walking around, gas the Jews, kill the Jews, kill all Jews. You see them walking with posters of throwing Jews to the trash. Now you see how much hatred there is in the world and how much people hate the Jews. It was quiet for a while, and now it's all back up again. So we have to stay prepared, always.
I saw that a plane landed in Dagestan, Russia, and a bunch of Jewish people, the airport was swamped by, would you call them extreme Muslims? No? You wouldn't call them extreme?
They're called Russians.
Russians.
You go back to the turn of the century, 1900s, the Pilgrim, okay, the Cossacks, they were killing Jews back then. They've been killing Jews for thousands of years.
And
it doesn't surprise me.
I still, I know people are listening to this and they're saying, okay, everyone keeps saying they hate the Jews, they're killing Jews, why? What is is there an answer that we can say this is why, or is it?
How about jealousy?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question.
We are almost 6,000 years old, 5,875 years old. Our formal religion is 5,800 and I think 75 years old. We are the first formal religion in the world. The reason we're God's chosen people is because we're still here. Not many of us, but we're still here. Okay? All we've ever wanted is peace. I wear a symbol on my neck. It says Shalom. It means peace. It means God be with you. It means hello. It means goodbye. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys.
Correct.
Right? All good stuff.
Mm.
What do you want from us? What do you want from us? Because we were the original businessmen? Because we weren't able to become doctors or lawyers or anything professional? You didn't allow us to become that. We had to become merchants. So right away we got the reputation of, money, money, money. It's not about that.
Yeah. Mm.
Not about that. It's such a bad misnomer.
So is it religion then? or partly religion?
You know, it's funny you say about religion. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but the Muslim religion is only 1,800 years old. It came after Christianity. Okay? Allah was only 1,800 years ago. They became a fanatic group in the Middle East, and they hated Jews. There is no, I don't know if you guys can answer, why is it that they hate us?
No, I can't answer that, unfortunately. You said, is it about religion?
Yeah.
And I don't think it's about religion. First of all, being Jewish, it's a ethno-religion, so it's ethnicity and religion. And I can tell you, I'm very secular. I'm very secular. I grew up in a traditional house. Growing up, maybe even sometimes I was a little bit like too pushed into religion by my father, and it kind of made me take a step back.
Which religion was that?
Judaism.
Judaism.
But they don't care if you pray or you don't. They will kill each and every last one of us if they get the chance. They're not going to be like, you don't pray, you don't believe, you're atheist, you converted. They don't give a shit.
Right.
They don't care. You liberal? You free Palestine. They don't give a shit. They just, maybe they're going to kill you last. If not first, because even for them, you're a traitor to your own race. And me, myself, like just even, for example, he was showing his chain. I always felt like, walking around with the Star of David, it's like, Alice a little bit. It's like a little bit too much. It's too much,
It's like wearing a yarmulke nearly.
Yarmulke is more a religious statement. For me, it was just too out there. Not because I'm ashamed or anything, but it's just like it's too out there. I don't need to,
It kind of puts you in a category that maybe is negative connotation, do you think?
Not necessarily, because I lived in Israel my whole life.
Yeah.
So many people walk with the Star of David, like many people here walk with a cross, and it's all fine. And many people, by the way, walk with a cross in Israel, and that's all good too. Muslims that live in Israel, Christians that live in Israel, they have a great life, trust me. But just this past year, all the hate I've been getting, I had to get one. And, just so the haters,
Can you close up on that? Who's that? Oh, sorry, thanks. Yeah, can you?
Yeah.
That's nice.
Just, again, for me, I always knew in my heart I'm Jewish, I'm proud. I didn't need the chain, you know what I mean? But now it's for the haters.
Yeah.
Since the Kanye incident, my grandfather passed away this year.
Sorry about
And
that.
Thank you. And I had the fight I wanted to fight, and dedicate it to him. And I couldn't get his chain in time, so I bought my own, and now I'm staying with it.
Yeah.
And again, this is less for me because I always know I'm Jewish and I'm proud. This is for the haters, just to make their eyes burn a little bit.
Do you have you got a lot of negative feedback because of your views from whether it be fans or just dickheads online?
There's many dickheads online.
I saw you beating one up a couple of weeks ago, a
Yeah.
troll. I saw you. That was great, by the way. You kicked the shit out of him. I liked it.
Thank you. Yeah. Unfortunately, I can't go around and beating all the trolls
Right.
of the world. It's not
Why
my
don't you
job.
try?
My job is usually fight professional fighters,
Yeah.
but this one was asking for it. He came to my gym, disrespecting my culture, so I had to put him in his place. But I think I'm also very, you be a better judge than me, but I think I'm pretty reasonable guy.
Yep. Absolutely.
I think I'm level-headed, not extremism
No.
in any way, shape, or And like I told you, when people say, "Hey, free Palestine," this, that, I'm always willing to discuss. I'm open for discussion. I'm open to learn things. But when you say from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, which means all the Jews from the Jordan River to the Mediterranean Sea, which is all of Israel, wipe them out. This is what it means. Then I'm not cool with it.
No one's going to come and say that to your face, though, right, Natan? It's only these pussies that talk online, right? No one's going to walk up to you and say that.
So far, no.
What happens if someone does?
I think I I would resist. But again, I'm not trying to promote any violence of any sort. And honestly, most people would say that, and most people who talk shit online are not even Palestinians. Most people that write anti-Semitic stuff to me, you go on their profile, it's either a fake picture or it's a flag of Palestine with another flag, which means this is really where they're from. And, like UFC fighter Belal Muhammad,
Yep.
born in America, raised in America, but he's Palestinian. He's all about stirring shit up when he's in America comfortable, while we're killing each other in the Middle East.
You have a problem with him?
I didn't have a problem with him. Again, he wants to be, he wants to influence his people and just being a hypocrite. Honestly, he's a hypocrite. That's why I don't like him. But I never had anything personal against him. I think he's a professional. I think he's a great fighter. But, he posted Pray for Palestine the day of October 7th. Not while we're attacking the Gaza Strip because what they did to us. While they're still, butchering people in the party, while they're still murdering people in the south of Israel, he's posting this. Their body is not cold yet, their blood is not dry yet, and you post this stuff. So for me, this is really disgusting behavior. And I know there's war right now in Gaza. I know civilians die. And, I'm not happy about it. I'm never going to cheer about it. I know we have to destroy Hamas by any means necessary. And, we also die. Our soldiers also are dying over there. So it's not fun. They think war is a Rambo movie. Oh, you walk in, you kill all the bad guys, that's it, it's over. It's not a movie. War is dirty. It's bad. It's not clean. It's not clean killing. And, all the blood is on Hamas' hands because they started it October 7th with this massacre. And no soldier would rape women. No soldier would parade them around. And no civilian in their right mind would join those parades and give out candy and be happy about the girl that's being raped in the trunk. If you ever seen this video,
It's absolutely shocking.
Absolutely shocking.
It really broke my heart.
Spit on her body, whether she was alive or dead already. She was found dead. Her body was found, and her head, separated from her body when they found it. Another thing, 3,000 Palestinians walked into Israel that day and did the massacre. Of course, there's 1,500 dead, but there's also 4,000 wounded Israelis and over 240 kidnapped, taken hostage. Who did this? Out of the 3,000, 1,500 were Hamas commando. The other 1,500, civilians who saw the hole in the fence and just walked in. Some took some bicycles, some stole stuff and ran back in. Some took people, some killed people. These civilians, they're not all the angels.
Mm-hmm. And so I suppose coming down to the fact where people are going to say now that Gaza's being attacked, women and children, Palestinian women and children are being killed. Now, obviously, you just stated that this is not something that you cheer for, nor do any of us want that to happen to innocent people. But once again, it comes back to these are the consequences of war, right? This is what happens when it's not.
No. The Palestinians, the Hamas, holds the Gazan Palestinians in front of them as a shield. So every time we kill Hamas, we're also taking out Palestinian innocent civilians because they're using them as shields. What don't you guys understand? These people are maniacs. They've got to be put away. I learned, and if I might take a couple of minutes, Marcus, when I grew up in Brooklyn, or when I grew up in the Bronx, I lived in some very, very tough neighborhoods, okay? I grew up in the Bronx in an area called Fort Apache. Okay, they made a movie about it years and years ago, okay? Very tough neighborhood. My father was shot and killed in a holdup after the Holocaust.
After escaping the Holocaust, he ended
after
up getting
everything
shot and
else
killed
in
here in America.
1973, here in America, My father was shot and killed by 3 black guys who held up, we owned a liquor store in the Bronx, with 3 black guys. Do I have any animosity against black people? Absolutely not. Do I have animosity against the 3 black kids that killed him? I'd like to get a hold of them and wring their fucking necks.
Yeah.
Okay? After growing up in these tough neighborhoods, I learned one thing. Fear brings respect. You fear me, you will respect me. We as Jews need to be feared. I am so ashamed of American Jews. I'm disappointed in American Jews. They keep voting for the same Democratic bullshit party who hates Jews. Okay? It's not the same Democratic Party that was around years and years ago. These people are socialists. Well, guess what Nazism was? The Nationalistic Socialist Party. Hello? Wake up, America. American Jews, wake up. You're going to get killed. You got to stand up and fight. Never again. I've said it. Correct.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. How does it feel hearing this gentleman talk about his experiences and how he feels about, I'm glad we're all on the same team here, obviously, but how does that make you feel hearing him talk like that?
First of all, incredible.
Yep.
His story is incredible. I'd love to hear more, about his childhood and whatever we can get into. And like he said, it's never again, and because we won't let it. Not because never again, because it won't happen. Because hey, times have changed. We're modern now. We're how do you say? Everybody is compassionate. Nobody is hateful because everybody goes to the university. No, the opposite is true. They're very hateful over there. They learn to hate Jewish people, white people. They are racist against black people too, even though they think they are not. Basically, they get their brain steered in there and turned into shit in those colleges.
Yeah, that's what's happening over here in America. They're being fed this rhetoric. They're being fed this ideology of what's going on, and they're blinded by it, right? Because they think just because it's on TV or Joe Biden and his cronies are talking about it that it's true. But what they need to do is go into Israel, look at these videos that are being shown just to get some realism about what's going on, because it seems like for the general public, people like me or America or whatever, it's very confusing what's going on there. They're not knowing the real story. Do you think that's right, David?
Yeah, for sure. American Jews, especially here, they think they're far away from all that craziness that's going on out there. They don't understand that if it's going out there, it's going to happen here, that's going to happen all over the world. It's just how it's happening. This is how the world works. If you're far away from the craziness and you're Jewish, don't think that they're going to kill the Jews out there, but you're going to be safe out here. It's not going to be this way. No chance.
I love what Netanyahu said. You harm, and I'm going to paraphrase, you harm one more hair of any Jew, we will find you, we will eliminate you.
Yep. So what about the Jewish, the Israeli army? Are they at a level that they're going to be able to win this war? And who else is coming in to help?
Well, Israel is definitely completely capable of winning this war. And of course, trying to do it with the least amount of casualties possible. But there's always going to be casualties. We can do it, but I'm also, this is also, I'm paraphrasing, but the US said, that we can do it, but they won't let us do it by ourselves. And, being an ally with the United States of America, it means a great lot to me, as I live here. I think this is the best alliance that could be against evil. Really, there's no other way of saying it. It's evil. It's Iran and, their allies. You got to take a look at them and know that this is evil, right? And what they're sponsoring, what they're funding, whether it is Hamas, Hezbollah, what's going on in Iran against the people themselves. I used to get a lot of hate messages from Iran people, but these days I get a lot more love, and people will ask me, people from Iran who ask me, I do kickboxing, can you bring me to Israel so I can be a citizen and do a career here? I'm like, sorry, brother, I'm not the Ministry of Sports, but I wish I could help you. I wish I could get you out of this shithole, because there's no doubt about it. And how can any Muslim support Iran, who oppresses their own people? That's crazy to me.
Did you feel a sense of guilt leaving Israel,
Uh,
or were you relieved?
no, look, it's not. I was not relieved. I just had to leave. Like, I don't live there. I don't have a place to stay. But I stayed for longer than I was supposed to make sure they're not recruiting civilians. At first, it was very dark. We didn't know how many are kidnapped. We didn't know how many got in. We didn't know how many were murdered. We were in the dark. And I stayed to make sure that if they recruit civilians, I'm available. I'm not a soldier. I don't have any soldier training, so they didn't call me for normal, recruitment.
You were willing to step up and go to war in time?
If it comes to it, whether in America or in Israel, if I need to defend Jewish people, my family, myself, absolutely. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
Go hide somewhere so they kill me last? What is that going to do? How is that going to help?
And obviously you feel exactly the same way about that, right?
100%. And I think we don't give enough credit to also, we have Arabs who do not support what's going on. People always forget about them. Me as a boxer, I grew up with mostly Arabs in the sport, because we didn't have too many Jews there. I would say like 40% to 60% Arabs, and we lived together. We went tournaments together, stayed in the same rooms, showered together, ate together, did everything together. So a lot of them, they don't want to, even though they're against Hamas, they just don't want to talk about it, because then they're going to be looked at as traitors and traitors for their religion and their own people and stuff like that. But as far as I see, they kind of stay quiet. They don't do anything crazy at the moment, which happened before. So at least I'm kind of happy with that.
But it needs to be voiced, though, right?
100%.
It needs to be talked about. And I feel that it's being... Why do they shelter it? Why do they only leak out little bits of information to the general public? Why aren't we getting the truth, man?
Because there's so many anti-Semitic people in government, in society. They hate us. Why? I can't answer that question. Why?
Yeah.
I said before about history repeating itself. Pre-war Germany, right? Well, you know what? There's an older story about history repeating itself. Remember, David and Goliath.
Yeah.
We are David.
Yeah. Yeah.
They are the Goliath. Who won that?
Yeah. David.
Who lost the Second World War? The Nazis.
Yeah.
Right? We always come back. We're not going away. I don't care what you try to do to us. We're not going away.
Is there any resolution of peace in the future or in the near future? Because this has been going on for thousands of years now, right?
I mean, the hate against Jews has been going on for thousands of years. The Palestinian conflict, it's actually pretty recent, because after World War II, there was no Palestine, a government, country. It was a land called Palestine, right? There were Jews there, and there were Arabs there. And, the British did split the land up into Jordan, which was the Arab state, and Israel, which is the Jewish state. Then the local Arabs in this, that considered themselves Palestinian, wanted the whole land as well. We wanted the whole land, they wanted the whole land. But we were willing to compromise. We were willing to take half. This was, I believe, the UN resolution is that we get half.
That's right, yeah.
And then they attacked us. And when you get attacked, you need to push back. So we pushed them back. And during a few wars, every time we got attacked, we had to push them back more. And even to this day, for example, Judea and Samaria, this is a high point. If they had this, they could shoot missiles at everywhere in Israel. If the Gaza Strip was a little bit longer, they could be shooting missiles everywhere in Israel. So the land we did give back voluntarily. The Gaza Strip, we got out of it in 2005, right? 2005.
Mm-hmm.
They've been shooting missiles at us ever since then. So we were willing to compromise, okay? When we did give land for a peace offering, we get shoot rockets from there. So why would we give more land, right? It doesn't make any sense. It's you bite the hand that feeds. This is our land. We're willing to give you independence somewhere. And then they say, why do you put a wall over there, right? Why is there a wall? This is our border. You want to blame us for putting a wall on our land? I will put a wall between my house and David's house if I feel like it. It's our land, right?
That's not very friendly.
So he doesn't punch me.
Yeah.
But they got a border with Egypt. They can go back and forth, no problem. Who's not letting this happen?
Well, they're not letting them happen now.
Egypt won't let them in.
They won't let them in.
Egypt won't let them in.
They won't. Lebanon doesn't want them.
And Jordan
Syria
either.
doesn't want them. Jordan doesn't want them. Egypt doesn't want them. Hello?
Yeah.
Their own people don't want them. Their own religion don't want the Palestinians. Okay? Why is it that these other Arab countries, you know what I really strongly believe? I want to get a little political. If Trump was still our president, all of this shit would not have happened. He would not have let this happen.
Yeah.
Okay? We have a pussy for a president, Biden, who doesn't even know his name,
Yeah.
doesn't know where the hell he is. Okay? Who's running this country? It's not him.
Mm.
It's all these socialistic, democratic pussies who we got to get rid of. We have to. There will be peace, and I strongly believe there will be peace in the Middle East.
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia was this close to making peace with Israel and recognizing that Israel does exist.
Yeah. Yeah.
Iran, the Holocaust, what's his name? Or the whatever, Khomeini, right? He's the one that puts the monkey wrench in because he doesn't want peace. He wants to destroy Jews. That's his main mission.
It's funny how this war has popped up and all of a sudden you've heard nothing about Ukraine and Russia. What's the conspiracy theory behind that? Is there a conspiracy theory why now we're not even hearing about Ukraine? It's all about Israel and Hamas.
Because Biden's making money off of Ukraine.
Biden's making money from Ukraine?
Of course.
Yeah.
All the billions of dollars is going over. You don't think he's getting a piece of it?
Mm.
Him and his son?
Yeah, yeah. So I suppose American politics is fucking crazy, right? I mean, we're all immigrants here. It's crazy to think that.
What am I, the only citizen?
No, no. No, I was gonna say it's. I mean, it's just crazy to think that the American government would try and destroy the country from the inside out. And it seems that since this Democratic Party has taken over power, that there's been more shit has happened in the world, right, in the last 3 years. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, I think as far as Ukraine and Russia goes, I think it's not as hip anymore. It's been going on for a long time. Nobody wants to stand there with the sign for 2 years. They get tired, the shoulder gets tired. They need something new and cool and hip, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, the country, US, I love this country. But it's definitely going down. And 10 years ago when I first got here for training and people ask me, do you ever get any anti-Semitism? And be like, hell no. When I tell people I'm from Israel, they become twice as cool as they were a moment ago.
Yeah.
Everybody was so cool 10 years ago, and everything was cheap.
Yeah. Everything was cheap.
And now all of a sudden, everything is expensive. So much hate, so much despair in the country that I'm seeing. It's you can't help but wonder like what's making this happen. Why is the government bringing all these policies that are turning the country into
Shit.
to shit.
I came to this country on June 14th, 1956. Okay? From Canada. It's a long story before that. But the day we landed, we came by train from Toronto, Canada to New York. I became a citizen 6 years later, 1962. It was the proudest moment of my life when I became an American citizen. I was 18 years old, and I was so proud that I was a Jewish American. Okay? After all that Holocaust shit and all the poverty that we lived through, all of the hardships we lived through, and God bless my mother and father, they persevered.
Yeah.
They made me the person I became. Good, bad, indifferent, whatever it is. This is the person I became. And I kiss the ground in America. I've been all over the world. I've traveled everywhere. I've been to Israel. I've been to Egypt. I've been to Rome. I've been all over the world. This is the greatest country in the world. Okay? I'm here to defend it, and I'm here to die for it. But you know what? Israel is a very close second.
Yeah.
And it will not perish.
What can we do, guys? It's not as if we can pick up an AK and run over to the Gaza Strip and start killing these fucking Hamas motherfuckers. What can we do as men, as people, as citizens of the world? What can I do?
Defund Iran.
Defund Iran.
Defund
Right.
Iran. That's good.
100%. 100%.
Defund Iran. Close
Sanction
off
their
their
ass.
oil wells. Bomb, take out their nuclear advances.
Which is the thing that we got to worry about now, right? Now that
Absolutely.
Iran
Can
has
you
the
imagine what they would do right now to Israel if they had the bomb?
Oh,
Yeah, Israel has the bomb, and we're not using
We're not
it.
going to use
Yeah.
it.
We don't want to use it. If
We don't
Iran
wanna-
has the bomb, it's over that same second.
They don't have the bomb?
They don't have the bomb yet. They're close.
And can you imagine what would happen if U.S. drilled at home, and instead of getting their gas from over there, it'd be
Absolutely.
from over here? It would be amazing. And it's the
Absolutely.
same harm to the
Environment.
environment, unfortunately, but better
I'll
here
t-
than there.
I'll tell you this. They were pumping 4 billion barrels of oil. They were pumping 4 million barrels of oil when Trump's administration. They are now pumping 4 billion barrels of oil under Biden's administration. They are making billions and billions of dollars allowed to sell their oil on the open market, which they weren't supposed to because we had all kinds of infringements on them. But now they can, and all they're doing is monetizing their atrocities.
Yeah, yeah. So, what do you do to stay sane in all of this? Like, do you pray? Do you hang out and talk about it with your brothers? Like, what do you do to? Because like, it's such a head fuck, man.
It's really hard trying to not be on the news all day.
Yeah, right.
That's how I was like for the first 2 weeks, just nonstop news.
I saw your Instagram feed was just completely
and phone
right.
and Telegram videos that truly are horrific stuff. You know, I'm still staying in touch, especially now that we have ground troops in. Heroes, you know, truly heroes like David's brother and many friends of ours. But to stay sane, I go and I train to keep in shape and be ready for when I get my next fight. And trying to stay positive. As far as, for Jews, I think that the biggest thing right now is to not be afraid, to not get sucked into depression and anxiety. It's, it's okay. It's natural to be scared, to not feel safe. I don't want to say it's normal. It shouldn't be normal, but if that's what you feel right now, you have to accept it. However, don't go into depression. Stay proud. Stay strong. Have hope that we will come out of this victorious, and that I think time will tell that Hamas showed their true face that day, and there is no more like it's a
There's
wolf.
no more maybe it is.
Yeah, it's a wolf in sheep clothing, and they reveal their true face. This is not a fighting organization. This is a terrorist group that rapes women and murders children. And I think when the world sobers up, they're going to know who the good guys are and who they should have been along the whole time.
I want to know where you're grabbing your strength from. How are you keeping it together? Your brother is there, and you could get a phone call any day now saying, God, where do you're fucking so strong. You're sitting here like a power. Where are you drawing your strength from? How are you remaining even fucking sane? Because I know if it was my brother or one of my family members over there, I can't even talk about it right now because I'm going to cry. But I don't know how you're keeping it together.
I'm definitely scared, for sure. I talk with my parents all the time. I talk with my girlfriend all the time. I'm sad to say it, but I do have 12 hours screen time on my phone because I'm always on the news. But I just know my brother is a badass. He's been through the Second Lebanon War when he's a tank driver. The battalion was just destroyed. It was a very bad war for us in 2006. He came out strong. So I believe in him. I know what kind of person he is. He's a great father. He's a great family man. He's a great brother. He's my hero. So I hope for the best. I pray to God that He will protect him and everybody else. So yeah, that's where my strength comes from.
Oh, man.
I don't even really know what to say. That's just amazing to me. It's really it just shows your strength and I can just hearing you say that about your brother just really warms my heart because here is he in a life and death situation and are you his younger brother or?
Yes, younger. He was like a second father to me.
I have cousins in Bat Yam, which is a suburb of Tel Aviv. And the first thing I did after the 8th of October is I text messaged them to see if they were okay. And they were okay.
Yeah.
But I haven't heard from them since. It's extremely frustrating. I understand what you're going through. I mean, it's so frustrating to know that your family members are in a war that is so unnecessary.
Yeah.
So unnecessary.
And it kind of makes you put things into perspective in life, right? Really, the little things that bother you in life compared to what, you guys are going through personally, and then also what the whole world is going through. It makes you put into perspective that little things shouldn't really count. We need to concentrate on put things into perspective in life, right?
Right.
And just, I know it's so cliche when people say pray for peace, but that's all I can do, right? I can't defund Iran. What?
In order to
Can we donate somewhere? Is there somewhere where we can donate, guys?
UJA.
What is it?
United Jewish Appeal.
The United
Jewish Appeal.
JewishAppeal.com, is that?
I think it is.
Okay, so there's the United Jewish Appeal, and then Natan, you gave me one earlier on. I'm just going to read this out.
It's FIDF.org, Friends of the IDF. It's a great organization who does, great things. Something great about the Jewish people, about the Israelis. They called, I think, 200,000 for reserves.
Yeah.
And 300,000 showed up.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we have 150% of the reserves who showed up. Therefore, the morale is high. People want to fight. They want to defend their homeland. It's the only country in the world that there is a war, and more people come in to fight than people flee the war, right?
Yeah.
And therefore, because there's so much soldiers right now in reserve, so they're lacking a little bit of food, some supplies, some ceramic shields, bulletproof vests, stuff like that, helmets, stuff that we need. So a lot of organizations are taking care of it. But I've worked with friends of the IDF. I trust them. I know it's a great organization. And I think it's a great cause to donate to.
We'll put that link in the description, guys. So if you want to donate to that credible organization, Natan has vouched for it. So I'm sure that somewhere you could, send some money for a good cause. I've had anxiety all day about this conversation. Like, I woke up this morning and, I did a little bit of study on what's going on with this conflict, and it really gave me a lot of anxiety just because I'm just a guy that's on the outside of it. I'm not Jewish. I'm not American. I'm not an Arab. I'm just this Australian guy that's horrified about what's going on. And I wanted to have you guys in here so we could kind of just hear some personal stories. And I think we have, and I think that they've resonated, and I think they will resonate with people that are listening and watching. In finalising this podcast today, because I could sit here for another 2 hours. Could you say something on a positive note, Marvin, that we can kind of maybe finish off with on something positive in this negative situation?
My only dream would be to have peace in the Middle East.
Peace in the Middle East.
And have Jews not as discriminated against as they are.
Yep.
But I got to stick to that comment. Never again.
Never again. Never again. I got it. David?
Same. Pray for peace. Do I believe it's going to happen? It's hard for me to believe it because it's been going 6,000 years. I don't see it's changing anytime soon, so just hope for the best.
Natan?
As far as positive note, I know we will win. I have no doubt about it. It's a question of time, and I hope we finish this war with the least amount of casualties possible on both sides. But everyone with anything to do with the attacks of October 7th, gotta go meet God.
Yep. I agree with you 100%. Yes. Guys, thanks so much for coming in today and having a talk. I feel great. My heart is a little broken at the same time, but I believe that these conversations need to be had from people that have experienced it, so you guys know that it's not just talk, it's not just propaganda. You're talking to three guys here that have lived it. One from the past and two from the present. And we can't let this continue in the future.
Amen.
Marvin, David.
Can I add something?
Natan? Absolutely.
One last thing I'd like to add. For people on the sidelines who are not sure, do I support Israel? Do I support Palestine? You don't have to take a stance. It's okay. If you don't know the material, you don't have to. If you want to support Israel, of course, that's great. I think there is a lot to support, but you don't have to. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
So in closing, guys, if you want to pick a side, I tend to pick the sides that don't chop babies' heads off and burn old people and attack at 5 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon when everybody's going through 3 days of prayer. I tend to go with the people that don't do that. So I've said it before, and I'm proud to say it again, that I do stand with Israel, and I will always stand with Israel. Guys, thank you so much for coming in today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Natan, David, I really appreciate it so much. Today's episode was brought to you by rizfarmer.com. This is Marcus Deegan for The Marcus Deegan Show. We're out.